Boston Celtics fans have learned to live in a constant state of anticipation over the past several months. But every now and then, something happens that quietly reignites belief in a way that feels different. Not loud, not official, not confirmed, but meaningful. That is exactly what happened when ESPN insider Tim Bontemps casually delivered a few words that sent a ripple through the Celtics community and reminded everyone that Jayson Tatum's story this season may not be finished after all. At first glance, nothing about the update seemed groundbreaking. There was no official timetable, no return date, no dramatic announcement. But context matters in the NBA, especially when information comes from someone as plugged in as Bontemps. During a recent episode of the Hoop Collective podcast, while discussing several league-wide storylines, he mentioned almost in passing that the Celtics are playing well and that Jayson Tatum is getting closer to returning. That single sentence carried more weight than it appeared to on the surface. This was not a press release. This was not a headline designed to go viral. It was a subtle observation from a respected reporter who understands when to speak and when to stay quiet. The fact that Bontemps chose to include Tatum in that conversation at all suggests confidence behind the scenes. Insiders rarely offer optimistic phrasing unless they feel comfortable doing so. In NBA media circles, even neutral language can be intentional. Positive language is rarely accidental. What made the moment even more intriguing was the timing. The podcast episode was released before Tatum unexpectedly appeared at a Celtics shootaround in front of the media. Hours later, fans were watching clips of their franchise star dunking, moving fluidly, and attacking the rim during individual drills. The videos spread instantly across social media. Celtics fans everywhere felt the same thing: hope. This was not just about seeing Tatum jump. It was about how he moved, how comfortable he looked, how confident his body language appeared. Achilles injuries are among the most feared setbacks in basketball. They test patience, discipline, and belief. Players returning from them are often tentative at first. But what people saw that day did not look like hesitation. It looked like progress. The idea that Bontemps had already hinted at positive momentum before those videos surfaced only added fuel to the excitement. It suggested that this was not a coincidence. It felt coordinated in a quiet way, not staged, not announced, but intentional enough to send a message without saying it outright. Tatum has always been calculated with how he communicates publicly. Throughout his rehab, he has selectively shared moments on social media, never overselling his progress, but never hiding it either. He understands the power of visibility. He knows what fans look for, and he knows that showing up at shootaround at that exact moment would speak louder than any quote. Some may argue that the timing was accidental, that media availability simply lined up with his workout schedule. That is possible. But it is also fair to consider that Tatum wanted people to see where he is, not because he is rushing back, not because he is ready tomorrow, but because he is close enough to let the world know that the process is moving forward. That interpretation gained even more attention after cameras caught Tatum during a recent Celtics broadcast, appearing to mouth a phrase that many fans interpreted as, "I am ready." Others believe he said, "I am waiting." Either way, the message was powerful. Ready or waiting, the implication was the same. He is nearing the point where patience is turning into preparation. It has now been more than 8 months since Tatum underwent surgery to repair his torn Achilles tendon. At the time of the procedure, optimism surrounded his recovery timeline. Early estimates suggested he could potentially return within 8 to 9 months if everything went smoothly. Those windows are never guarantees, but they establish benchmarks. And now, the Celtics are right in that range. Since then, the organization has remained careful with its messaging. Brad Stevens has consistently emphasized that Tatum still has steps to clear before returning to full basketball activities. Those steps include progressing from individual work to small group settings, then eventually to full team participation. As of now, what fans saw was individual work, important work, encouraging work, but still one stage in a larger process. That distinction matters. It is easy to get carried away by highlight clips, but the Celtics have every reason to be cautious. Tatum is not just another star, he is the foundation of the franchise. Rushing him back would serve no one. And yet, the signs are becoming harder to ignore. According to reporting from the Boston Globe, Tatum's workouts have increased in intensity over recent weeks. That aligns perfectly with what fans observed. Stronger movements, more explosiveness, more confidence. These are not things that happen overnight. They are earned through repetition and trust in the body. What makes this moment especially fascinating is how it intersects with the Celtics' performance this season. Despite losing their best player, Boston has remained competitive. Jaylen Brown has elevated his game. The roster has adapted. The team has found ways to win without its centerpiece. That reality has given the Celtics flexibility. They are not desperate. They are not scrambling. They can afford to be patient. At the same time, the standings matter. The playoffs are approaching. And every additional game Tatum could potentially play before then would be invaluable. Not just for rhythm, but for chemistry, conditioning, and confidence. Even a limited return before the postseason would change the ceiling of this team dramatically. That is why Bontemps' words resonated so strongly. They came from someone who understands the stakes, someone who hears things, someone who chooses his phrasing carefully. Saying Tatum is getting closer may sound vague, but in the world of NBA reporting, it is meaningful. It suggests that the internal outlook remains positive, that setbacks have not occurred, that progress has not stalled, that the Celtics still believe a return is realistic, even if they are not ready to say when. For fans, that is more than enough to start dreaming again. Dreaming of a packed TD Garden, dreaming of Tatum checking into a game to a standing ovation, dreaming of seeing number 0 back where he belongs, leading this team when it matters most. Still, realism must coexist with optimism. Achilles injuries demand respect. The final stages of rehab are often the most delicate. The difference between being able to dunk alone and being able to defend, cut, absorb contact, and play at NBA speed is significant. The Celtics know that. Tatum knows that. But moments like this remind everyone why patience is worth it. Why belief never completely fades. Why subtle updates sometimes matter more than loud announcements. The Celtics season has already defied expectations. They have weathered adversity. They have grown tougher. They have learned who they are without their superstar. Adding Jayson Tatum back into that equation would not just raise the ceiling. It would transform the identity of this team overnight. For now, all fans can do is watch, listen, and read between the lines. And when insiders like Tim Bontemps choose their words carefully, it is usually for a reason. If you enjoyed this deep breakdown of the latest Jayson Tatum update and what it truly means for the Celtics moving forward, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you do not miss any future Celtics news and analysis as this season continues to unfold.